Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where Marty has released a new rat run Sudoku, and therefore I am drawn to it. This is this incredible series. I'm sure for many of you, you will have attempted these puzzles and watched the videos over the years now that Marty's been making these rat run puzzles. But if you're new, you're about to see something. Well, I hope you're about to see. Goodness knows what would go on if I couldn't solve it. But hopefully you're about to see one of the most beautiful sort of exercises in logic that a person can go through. Now, because it's rat run, we have to go to the flavor text, don't we? Which is over on Logic Masters. Hopefully you can see that. You can see 100% approval rating, 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty. So if that's trustable, that means it's not perhaps as difficult as some of the rat run puzzles have been this season. We're in the 3rd season now. Experiment 26, Tan, 18th of February 1975. Due to the many adaptations we've made to accommodate a second rat, Phase 3 has had to be extended. Oh, that's great! The teleports are still out of use while we continue to figure out precisely what caused the Christmas Day malfunction that produced Finkz with a PH. Hopefully Elliot is making more progress than me in this regard. He's certainly been busy working away on something at his desk, and for the last few weeks he's been staying late after I go home at the end of the day. He says it's because he's more productive at night, but I get the feeling, I presume, I don't know what it's going to say after that, but we'll hopefully find out in due course. Let me just check that the puzzle's on the screen. Yeah, I think we're all good there, aren't we? And I'll read you the rules of this one in a moment or two's time. What can I tell you about before that? There are a few things I want to mention. Thanks to those of you who commented on yesterday's video. I've read all the comments, obviously. Much appreciated. Thanks to Thaddeus for wishing us a happy Mardi Gras yesterday. I did have pancakes yesterday. It was Shrove Tuesday. I know that's not quite the same as Mardi Gras, but Shrove Tuesday here in the UK, which meant that I could have sugar and lemon pancakes, of which I am a big fan. In fact, sushi followed by lemon and sugar pancakes might be my favourite meal. I will admit I did have 5 pancakes. Pancakes have to be thin as well, by the way. I know that there is a school of thought these days that says pancakes should be sort of chunkier. No, that's completely wrong. No, pancakes need to be sort of crepe-like, with a lot of sugar and lemon. Although I was abstemious this year. I was recalling, and this will appall some of you, I have an incredibly sweet tooth. And when I used to have pancakes as a younger man, I would have 7 teaspoons of like caster sugar on each pancake. That's a lot. Yesterday I was more like 1.5, but even so, I thought back, oh goodness me, I'd like to be a young man again. Anyway, what else? So that's thanks to Thaddeus. Yesterday I think it was the start of the Chinese New Year festival. I think I'm right in saying, and we had a rather lovely picture sent to us by none other than Panthera, showing us what she'd made for her godchildren. So it's the year. Hopefully you'll see. Yeah, there we go. It's the year of the horse. Look at that, that's really skillful. That's beautiful. Wowie, who some of you will be familiar with if you've been following the Blueprint streams, Wowie was pure white and looked nothing like as exotic as Panthera's horses. But Panthera, thank you for sending that. I hope your grandkid, or your godkids I should say, appreciated what you've made for them. Oh, now I was also I'm on Facebook. Sometimes you get recommended things it thinks you'll like, and for me it seems to have clocked that I like poetry, and I'm particularly a fan of the modern poet Brian Bilston, who is wonderful with words, and is exceptionally witty poet as well. And I thought I'd share with you the one that popped up yesterday, which is called Out of Character. So it's not going to take long to read. You can see it there. So, Out of Character by Brian Bilston. Having noticed one day his keyboard was dirty, he reached for the soap spray and gave it a squirty, before scrubbing away till each letter was clean, in ignorant bliss of having wrecked his machine. For the keys which once worked, now gradually did not, and the more that he typed, the worse it all got, so that as the close of his poem drew near, as he watched every symbol, every sign disappear, he felt like a postman at the end of his round, with barely a letter in his bag to be found. And that, it's lovely. It's lovely for many reasons, but what you might not realise, if you just read it through quickly, is that Brian there, the K disappears from the keyboard, stops working first, so you can see having wrecked his machine. The K disappears, and then after that, the K always disappears. And it goes sequentially. So in writing the poem, to make it sort of still readable at the end, Brian's had to be incredibly careful about which symbols are disappearing and at what points, so that you can still read the last two lines. They're still going to make sense and rhyme, etc. So I did write it down. The order of disappearances: KWUPYVRSE. I don't know if that's correct, but that is the order in which the keys disappear. So I thought that was rather brilliant, and I thought I'd share it with you as double brilliance, a Marty puzzle, actually triple brilliance with Pantheras. Now I'm going to get this wrong. What is that? What is it called when you make creatures by? Is it knitting? That must be knitting. Knitting's different from embroidery, isn't it? Embroidery is when you sort of do very fine work. Oh, I'm hopeless. I'm hopeless. Sorry. Anyway, that's what else can I tell you about? Do go over to Patreon and check out our monthly competition. There's just a couple of days left. The Skunkworks Duality 3, 19 puzzles in all. It's fantastic stuff. Actually, that is a good point. Let me just check I am quite likely, I thought I was going to get a call during yesterday's video from the garage. It's almost certain I will get a call during this one. My car, it might be mended to the point where it's drivable. That's what I'm hoping for today. So if I do get an interruption, I will have to take the call. Sorry about that. But I've got some birthdays to do as well. Let's do the birthdays. Joel, you turned 22 today. And I know this because your dad, Jason, wrote to me. I know that you enjoy YouTube videos, especially of roller coasters. And is it home repair? Now that I should watch a lot of those videos. I am hopeless at home repair. And I hope your dad has persuaded you to have a look at a Cracking the Cryptic video this evening, so you get this message. You're into Lego, as am I. And bowling. Well, I do like 10-pin bowling, but I don't get a chance to go very often. And I know that the two of you love chocolate cake and you love chocolate ice cream. So, Joel, I hope that there is a very heavily iced chocolate cake in store for you today. Many happy returns. Next, Fiona. Fiona, you've turned 18 today. And I know this because your mum, Jane, wrote to me. It says that you really enjoy watching, and so hopefully you'll get this message. Big birthday, 18, just a couple of years ago for me. And Fiona, I hope you have a great one, and I hope the chocolate cake obviously is excellent. And then another big birthday actually for Sam. Sam, you've turned the big 30 today. And I know this because your girlfriend Jessica wrote to me and thought you might like a shout out, so I hope that's right. And I hope you have a great birthday with, of course, heavily iced chocolate cake. That's all the news. Let's have a look at Marty's new Rat Run puzzle, Hit and Miss. It doesn't say. I suppose it said on the Logic Masters page exactly. It was number 26. It doesn't say in the actual title that it's number 26. But the rules of this one are as follows. We've got normal Sudoku rules applying, so we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. The aim of the experiment, Finkz and Phinx, so that's Finkz starting with an F and ending with a Z, and Phinx starting with a PH and ending with an X, must both reach the cupcakes by finding a path through the maze. Okay, so the cupcakes are in the same cell. today. I don't think they were last time. The paths must not visit any cell more than once, cross themselves or each other, or pass through any thick maze walls. The paths may not share cells except where they meet at the cupcake cell. As well as moving orthogonally, which means in a cardinal direction, north, south, east or west. They may move diagonally if there's a 2x2 space in which to do so, but may never pass diagonally through a round wall spot on the corner of a cell. So what we could do is if we were in the central cell, you could go like that, because there's nothing stopping you, whereas you couldn't go like that because there's the round brown wall spot there that would prevent that movement. Now, what have we got today by way of accoutrement in the grid? We have got blackcurrants. Yes, we've got 3 blackcurrants. If 2 digits are separated by a blackcurrant, 1 is double the other. So if this was 2, this would either be 1 because 2 is double 1, or it would be 4 because 4 is double 2. We've got grapes. If 2 digits are separated by a grape, they have a difference of at least 5. So if this was a 1, this would have to be 6, 7, 8 or 9. And wow, the test constraint's really long today. Test constraint. In this experiment, 3x3 box borders divide both rats' paths up into segments. Right, so it's sort of region sum lines, is it? Not all blue hexagonal platforms need to be visited, but any blue platform that does get stepped on becomes a hit counter. Its digit will indicate exactly how many digits along its path segment match their position number. The first cell visited along a segment is position 1. Okay, there's an example which is good because I'm not really understanding that. E.g., if Finkz visits the digits, let's do an example. So let's say that Finkz is coming along here. I need to do 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so let's say that this is a segment. What does it mean? And these are the digits 9, 7, 3, 2, 5. What do we have to do? Let me just check that. I was suddenly thought, have I left the poem up? But I haven't. That's good. If Finkz visits the digits 9, 7, 3, 2, 5 in that order along a segment, then the 2 would be on its blue hit counter. Okay. So what it's saying is, if there was a hexagon, ignore this hexagon, because that's not helpful for understanding the rule. But if there was a hexagon that wasn't in that position, it should contain a 2. Because, yeah, I see why. Because the 3 is in the 3rd position along the segment, so it is correctly positioned. The 9 is incorrectly positioned, because this cell would be correctly positioned if it was 1, i.e. because it would be representing the first cell on the segment. This would be correctly positioned if it was a 2. This is correctly positioned because it's a 3. That would be correctly positioned if it was a 4, so it's not correctly positioned. And this is correctly positioned, so it's a 5. So in fact, this line would be entirely correct if the blue hexagon was in the cell beneath, because this segment has 2 correctly positioned digits, and therefore any hexagon on its path should contain a 2. That is a strange rule, but that is the last rule. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. The first thing we need to do here is christen which one of these is inks and which one is pinks, because I can't use Finkz and Phinx because they sound too similar. So we'll make this mouse into inks, and inks is going to have to go that way, otherwise she'll bump into pinks. Pinks can be this one, so pinks is going to go down there. Now, can we do better than that? I'm not sure. It looks like inks could wibble now. So probably, I suppose both inks and pinks are hitting hexagons, aren't they? So now we're going to have to do that rule. Well, this one can't be more than 3 because there's only 3 segments. I suppose it can't be 0, actually. That's probably going to be important because we can't write 0. It's a Sudoku puzzle. 0 isn't appearing. So this is saying that there are a positive number of correctly positioned digits along this line. So 1, if this was a 1, it would be correctly. If this was a 2, it would be correctly. And if that was a 3, it would be correctly. But yes, I see. So if that was a 3, this would be a 1, this would be a 2, this would be a 3. But if that was true, this one couldn't stop here, because then this would be a 0, because the 1, 2, 3 in the box would all have been hypothecated to Phinx's line and couldn't exist on Inks's line. So this would not be able to stop there. It would have to sort of go down here and take a 4. Oh, but then this would be a... Oh, hang on. Then this would be a 1. Oh, no. Okay. Sorry. Right. It's been obvious to some of you. I didn't... This can't be 3, actually. Because if it's 3, this line... Oh, that's the garage. But that logic's correct. Hang on. Okay, right. So my car is ready. So that's good. Okay. I hope I remember to edit that out. I probably won't. Okay, yeah, no. I was just thinking this can't be a 3, because if it was a 3, all 3 of these cells would be incorrectly positioned on Inks's path. And therefore, this digit, I mean, even if the path went like this and took as many, and this was correct and this was correct, you couldn't make this digit be higher than a 2. And yet 1, 2, and 3, for this to be a 3, 1, 2, and 3 have been placed on Phinx's line. So that's not a 3. It's something to do with the fact that, yeah, it'll be something to do with the fact that those 6 cells can't have more than... You could have 3 correct positions maximum, couldn't you? Because there's only 1, 1, there's only 1, 2, and there's only 1, 3 in box 1. So I'm just thinking, so if Inks does turn out, then because these digits can't be the same and neither can be 0, they would have to be a 1, 2 pair. But neither would be correct. That couldn't happen. That couldn't work. Because if that's correct, then the amount of correct digits in these segments would be 3, because 1 plus 2 is 3. But the 1 and the 2 can be correct, but the 3 could never be correct, because the hexagon is always in position 3. So this one doesn't go out of that box. It must stay in. This is already really interesting. Marty's so clever because he always comes up with stuff that you've just never thought about in quite that way before. So if this is a 1, it would be incorrectly positioned. So the 2 would yeah, because then the 1 couldn't be correctly positioned because you couldn't write 1 in it. So if that's a 1, that has to be a 2. So one of those is a 2. That's quite a strange deduction. Let me just go through that again, because either this is a 2, fine, or it's a 1, so I have to correctly position one digit on this line, which can't now be the 1, and wouldn't be this digit, which it wouldn't be a 3, so it would have to be a 2. So one of those is a 2. So this position is definitely incorrect on Inks's line. So let's write. What we're going to do is we're going to have a colour for a cell that is absolutely impossible to be correct. And that one cannot be correct on Inks's line. Now. But, oh, see. No, it's simpler than that. If this was a 2, this line's just already broken without even considering Inks's line, I think. Because if it's a 2, it's demonstrably in the wrong position. So these two have to be in the correct position, which would mean a 1 and a 2, and that would put two 2s in the box. So, okay. So this is 1, this is 2. Both of those, no. That one's definitely not correctly positioned. That one definitely is correctly positioned. So we need a colour. Let's have lime green for a correctly positioned digit. This is incorrectly positioned, because whatever I fill into that cell will be incorrect. And 1 and 2, oh, well, this is now incorrect because it can't be a 1. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's really clever. Right. So what Marty's done here, I was about to say I've got it wrong because I realised suddenly this couldn't be a 1 or a 2. So this has to be at least a 3, and yet this line has had no correct digits put onto it so far. But I can just see if that is a 3 and you bent the line round here, then you could fill in 4 and 5 in the correct positions and just make this digit possible. That's beautiful. That is a beautiful start. So I've only got high digits left to put now in box 1. That is great. Now Phinx can't bump into Inks, so Phinx is going to have to go further down there, which might matter. I mean, I don't know if this might be quite a good way of doing this shading idea, because now I can actually label both of these cells grey, because on this segment, wherever this segment goes, it's definitely well, okay, yeah, that is helpful, because these two can't be correctly positioned, because this would be a 1 and this would be a 2, and there's already been 1 and 2 in the column. But more than that, this Phinx line can't go south now, because then what would you fill into this cell? The maximum number of correct digits you can put on that segment is 1 if this was a 3, but then by making it a 3 you're making it incorrect because you haven't got 3 correct digits. So Phinx has to not, well, and that logic survives a diagonal south movement, doesn't it? That's still the same logic. So actually Phinx must go here. And this digit is at least a 3. Right. No, that's not true. Okay, I was about to say something that's just absolute nonsense. But, well, okay, no. Okay, it's not the point I was going to make, but I'm going to make a different point. This cell is also incorrect on this segment because it's the 4th cell and it can't be a 4. So this digit, which is at least a 3, I've not managed. I could. Yeah, we've got to be very careful here because Inks is in this box as well and has to get out. So Inks is going to have to go through. Yeah, Inks can't bump back into herself. I think Inks has to do this boundary. Because if Inks did get out of box 4 by coming down here or here, then Phinx's only exit is going to be like this, or like that. And and Phinx will have to do that immediately, because to get down to this cell, Phinx is going to have to go through that boundary. So Phinx would just be forced to be wrong. So I don't know whether Phinx wiggles before she goes through that boundary, but she goes out there. Right, and that forces the way that Phinx moves through the box, because if Phinx does go to this cell now, that's the last cell she can take in box 4, because she couldn't go up. She'll get trapped in the box. And that will necessarily mean that this line segment can't have at least 3 correct digits on it. So I think Phinx has to do that. I'm not sure whether she goes there, or even there after that. But at least that affords the... Oh, I see. No, that's good. This cell is wrong now, because that would be a 5. It's the 5th cell. So the only way this works now is if all 3 of those are correct, and therefore we can fill them in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has got to be a very small number now, because Phinx is only spending 2 digits of time. So this... Right, now this is okay, I think. In theory, we could put 1 and 2 here, but that would make this hexagon wrong, because it would be accounting... The line would have 2 correct positions on it, yet it would be a 1. So the only way you can make it work is to make this a 1 and make this not a 2. So that is now not... It's quite restricted, actually, because 6 and 7 are looking up here. So that's a 6-7 pair in box 1, and this is an 8-9 pair. So this digit is... It can't be 2. So it's got to be a middly digit that's 4 or 5. Can't be 6. Can't be 7. Can't be 8. Can't be 9. So that is 4 or 5. This is correct. This is incorrect. And that can't be correct now, because it would need to be a 1 to be correct. So doesn't that mean that Phinx has to turn down? That must be right. Because if Phinx goes up, this would have to be a 1, because it can't be a 0. So Phinx has to go down this, and that forces the path. Well, it doesn't force the path of Phinx, but Phinx now either does this or this. But that means... because otherwise she would bump into Phinx. But that means that she must do that. So she is hitting a hexagon now in box 7. Now... Are the grapes like German whispers? They are, aren't they? If 2 digits are separated by a grape, they have a difference of at least 5. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you don't go through the grape. It still has that quality. So the fact that Phinx didn't go from row 6, column 3 to row 6, column 4 doesn't obviate the requirement for the grape to operate. So this digit has to be a 1 or a 2. In order to be sufficiently different from the digit 7, it needs to be at least 5 different. And now this digit is big and is not 6 by Sudoku, because it has to be 5 different from 1 or 2 now. So it's at least a 6, but it couldn't be a 6. And okay, yeah. So now look at... Oh, hang on, what's going on then? So Phinx's segment, those 2 are definitely wrong, because that's not a 2 and that's not a 3. So far... So we can't exit the box again. So we've got to turn. We've got to make sure we're inking the turn in, because if she exited, this would be a 0. Now this one... Whoa. I was going to say this one could be correctly positioned, but actually it can't, because to be correctly positioned, it would be a 4. And look at the grapes. 4 is a difficult digit to put on a grape, because there's only 1 digit that you can partner it up with, and that's the digit 9. It's the only Sudoku digit that's at least 5 different from 4. So this would be a 9, and this would be a 9, and we break Sudoku in column 5. So this cell, I don't know what it is, but I know it's grey. And now this digit, which can't be a 1, has still achieved no correct digits in box 5. So again, what Inks couldn't have done there, and she can't go there. So she's either doing this or this. The thing is, I mean, actually, it's still perfectly possible. Oh, well, no, it's not. It's not possible for her to go into that one, is it? She can't go into 2 hexagons on the same run through a box. She could, I presume, do something like that, although that wouldn't work, but maybe something like that. That might work, because then that would be 2 different segments. And so the hexagons could be assessed differently. But, yeah, okay, so we can, I think, pencil mark this cell now. Because what we can say is that we've hit no correct digits, and there's a maximum of 4 cells in the box that could potentially be correct from here, from this point, if we took all 4 of those. We can't take this one as well on this segment, so it's not 5. It's not 5 potentially correct digits, because then these would have the same number in them. So this digit is 2, 3, or 4. But it's not on a grape, so maybe that's not crucial. Okay. Oh, good grief! Right, hang on. I'm going to change tack. I don't know what happens there, but this I've just noticed can't be 1, 2, or 3. So that's at least a 4. Okay. I don't quite know what that means, but it feels like it's doing something, doesn't it? Because I don't... do I know exactly how the Phinx line gets to here? I think it is possible for it to do a diagonal move. Although if it did a diagonal move, this cell couldn't be a 1. If it doesn't do a diagonal move, then you could get 2 correct digits here. You could have a 1 here and a 2 here. You couldn't... yeah, this is... Okay, this cell is always incorrect, however Phinx gets to this cell, because Phinx either arrives at this cell as the 2nd or 3rd cell in box 7, and this cell already sees a 2 and a 3. So that's definitely not correct. And this has to be at least 4. So, so if this was the 4th cell, 5, 6, 7, 8, you could actually take 8 cells in the box. So in theory, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, my tummy's growling. I must be hungry. It's all that talk of chocolate cake. I can't see. I don't think there's a problem down there, is there? There's also, I mean, I have noted it, that is a 2x2 with no round wall segments in it, so diagonal movements are possible. So although that has to be a big number, I'm not sure it's very easy to see sort of how to think about it. Oh, hang on. Low digits in this column are down here. Let me just look at that. 1, 2, 4, and 5 are the options down here. So that means... And they, well, yes, they definitely include the 1 and the 2 in this box. So I can't score both the first and the second position. So by the time I reach this cell, I could have had a maximum of 1 correct digit. And that would be if Phinx went to this cell as a 1 and then turned left. But this couldn't be a 2 because of Sudoku, which I hadn't realised before. So that could be correct. That could be correct if it's a 4. So 1, 2 is the maximum count by the time you get to this cell of correct digits. But if Phinx goes here first, then this digit wouldn't even be correct. That might be rule outable. That might be rule outable. So what I'm saying is, if Phinx does that as the first move, then this can't be a 1, this can't be a 2, this can't be a 3, yet is itself at least a 4. So I'd have to choose, I'd have to get 4 correct digits after this position, which would be position 3. Oh, but then if I've made that a 4, it's incorrectly positioned itself. Oh, it can't work. It can't do. And if this is 5, I've just exacerbated the problem. If this is 5, I can correctly position the 4, but I can't correctly position the 5. If you see what I mean, you gain something but lose something else. So that wouldn't work. That definitely wouldn't work. If this is a 5, I could correctly position the 4 but not the 5. I couldn't actually even have 6 and 7 there, so I'd hardly achieve anything correct. And if this is 4, it's not correct. The next cell, wherever that was, which could be here as well, couldn't be correct either. And then I might be able to get a 5 or a 6, but I'm not getting up to 4. So we actually now know that this does this. Now, that's weird, though, because I don't know if that forces... It means this is incorrect, because that can't be 2. But I don't know if it forces this to be correct, because now this can be a 4 and would be correct, even if this wasn't. Or maybe we force this to be a 4. Maybe that's what we do. How could this be more than 4? I just don't think it can. If it's more than 4, the digit you put in there can't be correctly positioned on the line. So by the time you reach this cell, you can have a correct 1 and that's all. And the 4 is definitely incorrect. So imagine this is 5. The next cell is therefore incorrect. You could have a correct, let's say you could have a correct 6 and 7, although I don't think you could. In practice. Maybe you could. I'm not sure how you could, but maybe you could. But then you'd have 1. You can't get anywhere near a 5 here. You just can't. 1, this would be incorrect. The next digit would be incorrect. And if it wasn't 5 and it was 6 then the 6th cell would be incorrect. So you can't do it. There's no way. This has to be 4. And therefore these digits are 1, 2, 5, which probably means the 5 can't be correct. I think it's going to be very difficult to get this 4 to work. That's not a 4 now. And that 4 is correct, so we can do that. This might be correct if it's a 1. And then I need... Well, the 5 can't be correct. It just can't. The 5's over here. Yeah, and okay, however we exit the box, the exit point is not a correct digit. So how do we get to a count of 4? The only way is going to be for 6 and 7 in this little triple to be correct. Which means the 1 definitely has to be correct. Oh, I see. I hadn't spotted this, but I haven't been thinking about blackcurrants at all. That's got to be a 2. because it's on a blackcurrant. You can't put 5 on a blackcurrant. So this digit is, oh, this digit's a 1. Ah, sorry, I probably should have thought about the blackcurrant, but I haven't been thinking. Oh, yeah, look, it's doing all sorts of things. It's giving me a 3 in the other box. Okay, so if we'd done things in a different order, we might have been good there. But I still think we can do better on the Phinx line and how it's going to get through. So we know the next step on the Phinx line is incorrect. And then we're going to have a 6 and a 7, which must be correctly positioned. So there's definitely, yeah, I can see one thing about that. This can't be a 6-7 pair because that's going to break Inks's position. Inks's cell herself, where she originally goes from, is a 6 or a 7. So if this was a 6-7 pair, that couldn't exist. So the corner digit is a 6 or a 7, but has to be correct, which suggests to me it's going to be a 6. Because if it's a 7, we couldn't get out of it. If that was the 7th position on this line, then it just can't be, can it? This could be the 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be the 5th position. That could be the 6th position. That could be the 7th position. But then we've trapped Phinx's path. So this has to be 6. One of these is 7. But yeah, if the path for Phinx went there, the path would cross itself. So the path must not do that. The path must go, this is the 7. And this is something that is incorrectly. It's the next cell, but it's the incorrect digit. And therefore, Phinx exits box 7 through the 5, look. And that's going to be an incorrect place because it can't be a 1. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. These two are both correct. That's incorrect by definition because it is 3, 8, or 9. This can't be. I suddenly thought, oh no, that could be a correct 3. But no, our original logic was right. The 3 is prevented from being in this cell, so that could never have been correct. The 6 and 7 are doing things in the column. So these are from 5, 8, 9. Oh, is that true? That seems to have to be a 2. So that's 8 or 9 by Sudoku. Okay. This blackcurrant has not got 1 on it and doesn't have 6 on it, so it can't be a 3-6 pair. So it's from the family 2, 4, 8, and therefore it has a 4 on it. It's either, if it's 2, 4, it has to be this way round because of this 2, or it's got 8 on it. But it definitely has 4 on it, and actually the path keeps going. But okay, but this cell could be correct if it's a 2. Right. So that's stunning. The stunning that's forced through the Phinx's path through that box. But now, do we know? We know a bit more than we did about Inks's path in box 5, just because we know this number is now 3. So, not including this cell, which is sort of out of bounds for this segment, we have to reach a count of 3. So I was going to say we have to go there, but that might not be true actually, because I've just seen we could probably do that because of the diagonal possibility. If this digit is a low digit, it's affected by grape technology, isn't it? If it's low, it couldn't be 4. We've already looked at that because it would be surrounded by double 9. So if it's low, it has to be 1 because it couldn't be 2 or 3. If it's high, it can't be 6 because that would be surrounded by double 1 for similar reasons to the problems with 4. So if this is high, it's 8 or 9 only. And it's obviously, we've already said it's definitely incorrectly positioned. So if we did go north, that would be incorrect. Because it would actually... I'm just thinking about the fact that you can't put 5 on a grape. I haven't talked about that, but it's sort of a secret we're familiar with. If you're familiar with German whispers logic, you will know you can't put 5 on a grape because there's no Sudoku digit that's at least 5 different from 5. So if you do go north here, this would be grey, and yet we'd have to get to a count of 3. So we'd have to go 6, 7, 8. That's okay. I don't think that works. That's a beautiful, beautiful piece of logic again. Let me just think about that. Am I definitely right about that? I think I'm right. So let me try and explain why I think that's a problem. And it's to do with this cell, actually. So what I'm saying is, if Inks goes north, this cell is definitely grey, because it's not allowed to be 5 because of the grape. And yet we have to correctly position 3 digits on this segment before we leave the box. Now, I might be wrong, but the only way I can see that as being even remotely possible is if that is the segment I draw. Because I've got to get 3 more cells without hitting this. So these 3 have to be correct. So this is a 6, this is a 7, this is an 8. Let's actually fully sketch it in. But now, what's this? Well, this is a 9. And therefore, what's this? And this is a 1. And there are no high digits left to go in this cell. They have to be 5 different from 1. So they have to be 6, 7, 8, or 9, which would be here. And that is not going to work. I'm not sure we get much from that, except we can't go north. And we must delete this grey. This cell, you see, that could be a 5, so that could be correct now. But even so, I see. Even so, I've still not achieved remotely a 3 count, so I have to go north. Aha! And I can't go into that in this segment, or it would have the same digit. So I need a 3 count. So this that can't be 6. Oh, that's beautiful. That's done it. That's done it. This can't be 6 because it sees 6. So we can grey. And now how do we achieve 3? Well, it's got to be those 3. It's the only 3 cells available. Therefore, we can write in the digits 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by Sudoku. Is this going to... that does work now because I don't run out of high digits. This is a 6 or a 9. These digits are 4 and... Oh, hang on. This can't be fulfilled now. 4... Oh, it's in fact, it's a 6. Oh, okay, I see. It's not visited. That's what I see. That's what we're learning there. This cell is... I'm going to grey it. You can't go to it. Because if either rat went there, 6 cells in this box somehow have to be correctly positioned on its segment. And we've basically filled the box with Inks's segment, which is doing this. And this is a 3, because it's across a blackcurrant. Now, can we do better than that? We can say this isn't 8 anymore. Which do you think might do something? Phinx has to get out of box 8 by... Okay, so Phinx is going to hit a hexagon. I mean, there's no surprise there. That probably can't be correctly positioned because, well, 2. I mean, I suppose it could perhaps be a 6. Okay, I'm going to look at this, because the Inks's path has now gone into box 2. How does she get out of box 2? I don't know, but she must go through there, look. I see. Right, what's the high digit on this grape? It's not 7 or 8. Now, if it was 6, it would have to be next to a 1. 6 and 1 are 5 apart, and there's a 1 in the column. So it's a 9 in one of those with a... Oh, no. Oh, it's better than that. Actually, I could have done this differently. Look at this cell. And you might notice, if you're paying more attention to the Sudoku than I am, that digit's got to be a high digit on the grape. It can't be 1, 2, 3 or 4. So that is 6 or 9. And it can't be 6 because it would have a 1 beneath it. So that is 9. Therefore, this is 6. This digit is low. I think it's 2 or 4 then, across the grape. So it's okay, so this is definitely incorrect, isn't it? Because it's the first cell of a segment. I mean, it's very hard to believe that this isn't a 1. Because if it isn't a 1, it's at least a 7. It sees 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So if it isn't 1, it's 7. How could you do that? One's not correct, and that wouldn't be correct. That's definitely not the 9th position. So everything else would have to be correct, but the 3 couldn't be correct, because you'd have to wibble around here and take the 3rd cell in order to get to a count of 7. So this is definitely a 1, which actually is weird, because it takes the pressure off everything. I mean, these two are definitely incorrectly placed. The 9, this is not the 9th cell on this segment, that's not the 1st cell on the segment. But okay, so maybe what we can deduce is that Inks doesn't go north. Because if she goes north, we get to the 1 in the hexagon with no correct digits. If we were to go south from there, that 3 is wrong. If we were to go north from there, we can't put 4 because of Sudoku, so we wouldn't get a correct digit. So, yeah, I could do that. I'm not saying she doesn't go diagonally, but she definitely doesn't go straight into the 9. There's actually a 2-4 pair I've just seen in column 5 as well, so I haven't put oh, I see, so I can place the 3 in the column. I hadn't seen this. 3 and 5. I'm sure there's a way of doing this blackcurrant down here, but I don't know what it is. 6, okay, 6 and 7. Oh, that's terrible. This is terrible. 6 and 7 have to be in those cells. So in this column, it's 4, 5, 8, is it? Into the gaps. Let's see if we can do something with that. I know there's a 4 on this blackcurrant, so this is 5 or 8. Oh, I don't know. Okay, but we can say that however these cells could never be correctly positioned, because either they're too early on the segment however we drew it. This can never be correctly positioned, because again that would be too late on any segment that we tried to draw. That 5 could be correctly positioned, I think. Yeah, that oh no, it could definitely be. It could be a U pentomino to get there. Oh, this could be correctly positioned if it's a 4. Oh, but that can't be a 5. Hang on. Ah, so in the column I can just place 5. I didn't see that. So that's 5. There's a 4, 8 pair. But if that's correct, it's a 4. But then it... Yeah, that's weird. Right, here's a weird bit of logic. I think this might have to be 8. Oh... I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I think certainly if this is visited by the path, it has to be an 8. Because if it was a 4 and it's visited by the path, then the 5 and it was correct. If it was a correct 4, you'd go next cell into a correct 5, and this 1 would be wrong. So one interesting question is, can this... So this is a 2 or an 8. Is it possible that this is the 8th cell on this path? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's interesting. It is possible, it is, but only if you've made the 5 correct. So if you've made the 5 correct, see, that doesn't... I don't think this is a correct digit on the path, is what I'm going to claim. Because to be correct, it would be an 8. But then you have to visit the 5 on the way to making it the 8th cell, and that would make this hexagon wrong again. So that is incorrect, whatever it is. So one of these two is correct in the box. Because we... Or to put it... to put it a different way, one of these is the green digit that contributes to this count of 1. And you can't go into the top row without visiting both of those cells. So Phinx definitely visits both of these cells, and therefore she comes down there, and therefore she comes down there, comes down there, comes down there, and now it all gets resolved. Because this is definitely correct. This is unbelievable. That's definitely got to be incorrect. So that's got to be 8, 2, 4, 2, 4. The 8 is wrong. It doesn't matter now whether Phinx goes up or down or just directly east, I don't think, to get into box 3. She's going into box 3. And this... Oh, no, I've messed it up. Sorry. This is a 7 or higher. Oh, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I haven't messed it up. So by Sudoku, this cell, which is a hexagon that's visited, is 7 or higher. And Marty, I think you can get to 7 because, look, this is the second cell. Well, that's correct. That is the third cell. Well, that's correct. Now, if we're going to make 7 work, this 1 can never be correct, and that 4's never correct. So every other cell in this box would have to be correct. Can we do it? 2, 3. If I visit the 1, that's fine. It's incorrect, but I've already counted it as being incorrect. But then I would go for my 5th cell into the 5, to the 6. So the 5, 6, 7 are correct, providing I stay in the box. Like that. Oh, careful, because I could do diagonal. Ugh. You have to be careful with these puzzles. But that actually forces all 3 of these cells and the order, because they have to be 7, 8, 9 in the specific order in order to make the thing have the correct hit points. And now this is not an 8. Now, what about this then? 1, 3, 8 at the bottom of... But we don't know whether this is visited. And that's a 9 now, but C's a 3 here, so that's 8. 9, 8 makes this a 3, this an 8. These 2 digits are, I can do them actually, 9, 5, 8, 9. I've actually done the first 6 columns of the puzzle now, which is that's definitely progress. I still have no clue how we're getting to the cupcakes for either rat, but we've got 1, 3, 4 there. We don't know here, do we? It's 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 6, 7, 8. 2, 6, 7, 9, I should say there. I'm pretty sure. I see, don't know. I was about to say this can't be a 9, but if it's unvisited, it could be like this one. It could be any digit, really. This is 2, 5, 7. 1, 3, 8. 4, 6, 9. Oh, I left that one out. Sorry. I did not mean to be remiss. 2, 4, 9 there. Again, it's very hard to believe that's a 9, but until we do the thinking, we can't say. Okay, so, right, where are the paths? I've got one here, which I know, I don't know where that goes. And then I've got, oh, it's horrible weather again now. Oh, that's reminded me of a question I wanted to ask the garage. Is the weather causing all the problems with my car? Okay, goodness knows what to do now. How does Inks get from the... Yeah, okay, how does Inks get from this cell to the cupcake? She's going to have to come through there. There's no other way. And then she's going to have to come through there, look. Ooh, okay, so we get 2 little segments. Now this will be the first cell, and that is not a 1. That's the second cell, it's not a 2. Ah, that's the third cell, it could be a 3. This can't be a 1, so that's not... See, that could be a... Ah, right, hang on, that's visited, though. So that can't be a 9. I'm just going to rule out 9. 9 would imply, somehow, that Inks took every single cell of box 9 on her path. But that would leave no room for Phinx to get to the cupcake, so that can't be 9. I've got a lot of difficulty believing this can be 4, frankly. How does Phinx get to the cupcake if this is a 4? It would be incorrect, so there'd have to be 4 cells after that were correct on Inks's path. That couldn't be correct, it wouldn't be a 3. You can't go to the cupcake until you've picked up the 4 correct cells, so you're going to have to do a wibble round here somehow and cut Phinx off, so that's got to be 2. I think that felt logical, didn't it? And 2, okay, and 2 is immediately easier to achieve because it's actually correct. It is the second position. Can that be the 4th position? No, it can't actually, because the path would cross itself, because you'd have to do something like that. So 3 is definitely wrong. 4 can't be achieved, so the 5. Yeah, I've got to... The path ends on the cupcake, so before I hit the cupcake, or at the cupcake itself, I've got to achieve my second correct Inks digit. 3 is not available without cutting off Phinx's path. 4 is unavailable for the reason I showed. So it's got to be 5 is correct. And how do you get to how do you keep off the cupcake and give Phinx a path? Well, the only way I think you can do it is to make that a 5 and then steer well clear of it. And then this, see, this is going to be... Oh, that green does double duty, because that 5 is now correct for the Inks path. These are both incorrect, but now, because it forces the shape of the Phinx path to be this way, that is also the 5th cell of the Phinx path, so that's correct for Phinx, so that would make this possible to be a 1. the 6, 7 is definitely incorrect. We're not memeing about that. Oh no. Well, okay, this cell is definitely incorrect. So it's oh no, so it can't be 8. There's only 5 cells possible. So it's 1 or 3, and the 1, if it's 1, it's already complete. And if it's 3, that's lovely. That's lovely, Marty. How could this be 3? The only way it's 3 is if both of these are correct, but that is the third position on this segment. So it can't be 3. That's got to be 1. And now that does double duty, because now this can't be 3, or it would be correct. Oh, so we're going to miss out on a 3 in the corner. That's got to be an 8. That's got to be a 3. And now both of these become incorrect. So now that's not 1. That's surprising. It can't be 8. I mean, I've said it can't be 8 flippantly, but forgive me. I will try and prove why I don't believe it's remotely possible for it to be that in a moment. This is not a 1. I think this method, if we can even call it that, of greening and greying cells has been a little bit sensible. Okay, now I don't know what to do. This is not a 3. I presume it's this one. Oh yes, I was going to disprove 8 from here. That must be possible. It definitely can't be. You can actually take 9 cells here. But if it's 8, the 8 itself is incorrectly positioned, and these two are incorrectly positioned, so there's not a chance, a snowball's chance in hell of reaching an 8 correct count. Now this is 4, this is 1. Ooh. That's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. This is 8 now, this is 1. Oh, that 3 is correct. That is a correctly positioned 3. And that 1, if we did go up and across, we would... Oh, that's lovely. Oh, Marty, you're so clever. Look what Marty's done here. If Phinx goes up and turns in there, the 1 is correct, but you're forced into the corner where the 3 would also be correct. So the 1 would be an incorrect count in the hexagon. So we don't go up. So we do have to therefore go along there. I thought that would make it obvious. I think, well, this, hang on, how long? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you could make that a 6 cell segment, so I can't rule out 6 from here. I think, oh no, you can. You can. How could that be a 6? The position 1 cannot be correct, and there's only a maximum length of the segment of 6, so it's got to be a 2. So this is a 5, this is a 2, and okay, that probably does something. 5, I can place by Sudoku in box thingy thing, being the technical term for box 3. So that 2 could be correct if we go into that one first. The 5 could be correct. And oh, that could be a 6, and that could be correct. Okay, but what isn't going to work is if the 2 is the first cell. If the 2 is the first cell on whatever segment we draw for Phinx through box 3, then there are 2 consequences to that. The 5 could then not be correct, because if this is position 1, position 2, position 3, I mean, unless I cut the path off, this can't be position 5. So I couldn't get to a count of 2. So what we have to do is definitely that, which makes this incorrect, this correct, this incorrect. So I need one more correct, which could be the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this isn't a 6. But is it? It's not possible for this to be a correct 6 unless you have visited that 5. because that would have to be the 6th cell on the segment, which would require the segment to do this. So the 5 is always correct, and therefore is the last correct digit. So we've got to do that. That becomes green. These become incorrect, which makes this cell not a 6. Oh, I thought I was going to do something. Oh, more fool me. Oh dear. So it's probably this box we're going to have to resolve things with. It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible. He must have such fun making these because they're completely balmy. Oh, I've got a 4, look, swimming away at the top of the grid. So that's a 6 or a 9. I've got a 7. Oh, I've got some 7-age going on. Right, I've got a 6-9 pair in column 8, so that becomes an 8. I don't know if that's going to do anything. It does do a little bit in column 7. I've got a 6-7 pair now. So this is 4 or 9. 6 or 9. 6 or 7. 4, 6, 7, 9. Oh dear, okay. Right, so it is going to be the route we take. Oh, presumably we can't go straight down then. Yeah, if Inks goes straight down, this is correct, that's not correct, and that's not correct. So we don't reach a count of 3. So we take a full excursion. It looks like that. Looks a bit like that spiral clue that I haven't understood in blueprints. But now the 5 is correct. Oh, look, I know what this is going to do. That's so beautiful. It's unwinding things. These two are incorrect. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in order to get to a 3rd correct, you have to make the 9th cell on this segment correct. So that's got to be green. That makes this 9, this 4, this 9, this 4, this 6, this 9, 7, 7, 6, 6, 6, 7. Marty is a total genius. Those are all not on segments, so they should be grey. I mean, that must, I say it must be right. Oh, yes, look at this. Oh, it's quite, how long has that taken altogether? About an hour and a quarter. Experiment completed successfully. Test date 18th of February 1975. Cells visited 73. Hit counters activated 12. Blackcurrants eaten 1. Grapes eaten 1. The rats remain as focused as ever, but I'm not sure if the same can be said for myself. Elliot's after-hours productivity has been occupying my thoughts this week, and numerous times today I caught myself wondering exactly what it is he's working on, and why he feels unable to share it with me. This curiosity has led to an idea taking root in my mind, one I'm not necessarily proud of. Those miniature cameras from last week's test could feasibly serve a useful secondary purpose. Oh, you're going to bug your colleague. That's brilliant, isn't it? What a brilliant puzzle, Marty. Thank you very much for making my puzzling afternoon so enjoyable. Let me know in the comments how you guys got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.